I called them on June 2nd and they were like, okay, in the next couple of hours, after you clock out of work, you need to meet us at New York Presbyterian Hospital. It has to happen today. Again, I hadn't known any of this. Social worker sat me in a room and then gave me the information. They were like, so, this is a little boy, but Ducky was in a NICU. He was born at 2 pounds. A very big chunky part of me received my healing when I became a dad. I think for me, my forever intention is to be the father that we both deserve. I think for me, just not growing up with an actual father figure pushed me even more to make a difference. And I think that's why I just never stopped. I could not say no. I could not just watch that beautiful little face from the hospital who's fought so much, so hard at the beginning of his life.
Well, hi there, friend. It's Darren. Welcome to Call Me Friend, powered by Miss Lou's Cabin, an Airbnb property on a remote section of the Georgia coast. This is the podcast where I call a friend and you get one heck of an incredible story. This week, things are going to work a little bit differently, because I actually am going to learn the story right along with you. The twist, the hook that we're talking about this week, maybe you are at a place in your life where you don't like the way your story ended. I like the saying that says, if you don't like the way the story ends, then maybe it's not the end of the story. Also, another one by the late Wayne Dyer, a really short phrase that inspired me a long time ago: create what you seek. That one really kind of got to me. For instance, if you are seeking inspiration, then go out there and be inspiring. If you're looking for love, then be loving. Put love in the world. And I get the feeling that this week's guest is doing just that. Now, in my own life, what I was looking to create was more opportunity with friends. So what did I do? I created a podcast all around friendship. This is a podcast where I get to call old friends. And in the case this week, I get to call a new friend, a very new friend. I cannot begin to tell you, I have no idea. Why did the Instagram algorithm put me together and play matchmaker with this new friend, except maybe we share a first name? His name is Darren Graham. What I have found in following his Instagram account is something so intentional, so loving, so inspiring, so absolutely wonderful. I have no doubt. I'm going to make this promise to you right now. Not only do I love him, but I think you are going to love him by the time this call is over. I'm in love with him. I'm in love with his young son. And yes, my husband is totally okay with all of that. So now that it's time for you to fall in love with the other Darren as well, let's call Darren Graham. This episode of Call Me Friend is brought to you by Miss Lou's Cabin, an Airbnb property on a remote section of the Georgia coast. Do you ever go to a beautiful resort area and you long to know what it looked like before they paved paradise and put up a parking lot? Well, now you have your chance. Miss Lou's Cabin sits on 7 private acres on a tidal saltwater marsh about 50 minutes south of Savannah, Georgia. It is a place so quiet, you don't even hear road noise. Instead, what you will hear: pink spoonbills, wild dolphins feeding off your private dock, the breeze whistling through the Spanish moss that hangs from the countless oak trees all over the property. The porch overlooking the marsh is the perfect place to hang with family, read a zillion books, catch the sunrise, all while you stay in a restored log cabin that has all the comforts and amenities of a beautiful home. Miss Lou's Cabin. Check out the link in the show notes or simply Google Miss Lou's Cabin and you'll find this piece of paradise. Well, hello.
Hi.
I need to say I've had an extensive news career. I've been doing this podcast for a year. I've gotten to do a lot of things. One thing I've never, ever been able to do before this moment is say, Hi, Darren.
Hi, Darren. It is very rare for me to run into another Darren, but a Darren of a different gender. It's like, hi. I love that
Which
your
is,
name is Darren. I think it's so beautiful.
thank you. Well, mom did it. I didn't. My mom was decades ahead of the trend of giving the girls unusual names. So I'm
Exactly.
Darren. I have a sister named Callan. And then we have a brother named Mark. So I don't know how she missed the boat on that because it doesn't fit the whole theme. But do you have any other girl Darrens? Have you ever met another girl
No,
Darren?
you are my first in 38
Oh
years
my
of living. You are my
goodness.
first and hopefully not my last. Now I'm very curious. I'm going to start searching.
The hunt is on for the girl Darrens.
Hunt is on.
I only know I have one girl Darren in my life, and this was a complete shock. But one of my college roommates who went through a huge, long fertility journey, at the end of it had a baby girl and named her Darren. So there's a little Darren. Well, she's not so little. She's in college now. But we had to figure out how to differentiate. So we called her baby Darren. Okay. But then when she was 4 and you're kind of getting into the stage with your son, she was like, I'm not a baby.
Yeah.
So we decided BD stood for beloved Darren. Beloved Darren. So she's still BD.
Love that.
There she is. Okay, I know you say on your account, there's a very specific post where you say, what other people think of you is none of your business.
Correct.
But so humor me for a second because I need to tell you what I think of you. Okay? Just for a second. And just take it in. Okay. I don't know what the Instagram algorithm gods were doing where they had me find you, if it was just our name or what it was. But I find you and your account to be, if I had to pick one word, it is intentional. You've been so intentional about this world that you've created in your account that draws me in, and I know a lot of other people as well. There's a couple sayings that I've heard that if you don't like the end of your story, then maybe if you don't like how the story ends, then maybe it's not the end of your story. And to create what you seek. And what you have created with love and with strength and with deciding who you are and the things that you love and the people that you love and the attitude and the inspiring thoughts that you share, Darren, I am telling you, you are a true gift. And I would just like you to receive that.
I receive it. It took a very long time for me to even understand what flowers meant. And for me to also understand that I've been giving everyone flowers for so many years and have just not been planting the soil for my own. And when I do hear people, it's still for me, I don't feel like social media has brought me a lot of beautiful opportunities. And I always said I did not do it for numbers. I don't do it for numbers. I do it for community because I just feel like the intentionality behind it for me is we live in such a crazy, insane, selfish, dark, very narc world. And if I can just make one person understand that they can go through the emotions, but they cannot stop, then I've done my job. And with me, that was one of the first things that I said on social media that went viral. I remember just looking into the screen and being like, get up. Get up now. You don't know what tomorrow is. Tomorrow is a figment of our imagination. You don't know what the next second is. It's a figment of our imagination. Get up. Do it right now. You do not get to quit. You get to go through the emotions. And that that was my first video on TikTok. I put it up. I went to sleep. I woke up. It was at 10 million. And then I just had this influx of 20,000 people in less than 24 hours. I was like, because my sisters were sending me so many messages. I was like, what is happening? Because I hadn't opened up the app. And then I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get most talkative in high school in the yearbook for nothing because I always
This is where it was leading. The smoke coming out through your ears.
Exactly. I was like,
Yes.
okay. And then I just started building a little community that became very big. And yeah,
here we are.
Yeah.
I have a feeling, again, going back to this idea, like, I don't know how I found you, but our communities probably don't overlap that much. And I wanted my people to know you. And that's why I invited you on, not for numbers. Like when you meet somebody and I love it when my people meet my people. And I was thinking my people need to meet this people. And that's why I'm so glad you're here. The other thing that strikes me about what I don't know about you is as wonderful as the wonderful feeling I get of where you are today, it is not where you were.
Right.
I don't know where you came from, but I have a feeling that there has been a journey, that the things that you share are the things that you've learned, not, you didn't come out of the womb this way, that there has been a journey to get here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I'm from the Caribbean. Let's start there. I'm from St. Vincent. I'm the only boy of 3 beautiful little nuggets that we were. I'm the middle child.
Oh, me too. That's the connection.
See, there's
middle
a connection.
Children. That's what it is.
I'm the
Darren middle
child
children.
to 2 bossy sisters. But no, beautiful. I was raised in a community. And I think when we moved here, I was struggling a lot.
How old were you when you moved?
I moved here at 10. So
that's
28
hard.
years ago. Very hard.
Yeah.
I had already had my experiences happening. I've already had a small little circle. I've never had big friend circles, still don't. But I had like my intentional little circle of, I love books. So like we would read, we would play marbles, we would climb trees, we would go to the beach. Just our little thing. It was only 3 of us, but we would just like thick as thieves. And then my mom was just like, hey, you have to say goodbye. And I was like, huh? We came to visit, but always went back because my mom wanted us to go to school there, but my mom lived here. So we stayed with grandma and would travel back and forth from the US, going to Barbados. But she was like, you're going to be moving to the US full time. And I think for me, that was the most traumatic time I've had in my life, still to this day. And because now this consistency that I knew just became inconsistent. I also did not know my mom that well emotionally. I was already connected emotionally to my grandmother. So that was like the maternal instinct. But now I have to learn you because you left when we were 4. So there was a 6-year gap. I have to learn you. I have to learn this bigger world. I'm from an island of 90,000 people. So it's very tiny.
To New York City.
To New York City, which can house maybe 100 of my island. And you bring me to Brooklyn, New York. So we moved here and I just remember being dropped in Clinton Hill, Brooklyn, downtown Brooklyn. And just in this foreign place and just never feeling like I fit in. And that would happen all the way up until 16. And I found real friends who I still am friends with today. And we had our own little community. We were all queer, into art, very big into the books, just going to university. We all had our careers. It was just us. So I went through that change and I always said to myself, the older I get, I want to just keep building this community because it needs to be a part of my healing. I'm still healing that little boy that was in me that was just taken from the space. Went through such a traumatic moment. I don't think the adults understand trauma, comes in different forms. So that was my bit of trauma. And that's why I pushed to do what I did. I eventually worked in education and for 13 years as a advocate for a little while, and then a psychologist. Then what else did I do?
All the pieces are coming. All the pieces are coming together. Like, okay, I got it.
I did 13 years in elementary school here in downtown Brooklyn in my community. Again, intentionality with the community word.
So how do you go from that? Again, you didn't grow up and say, oh, I'm going to be, I don't know, I don't think an influencer, that's a little trite, but like to even grow, is this your full time? Is the social media your full time?
So it is one of my full times.
Okay.
So I'm also an editor at Who, What, Where, so I write, which ties into like my love for literature. Fashion paid a lot of my way through college, and that's the intertwining of like my editing. I pivoted from education because I just felt like the change was never going to happen with me. I think
or that
teachers
system.
Or that system. I think teachers, administrators, contractors that's in that space, whoever is working in education, however they're kind of contributing to that space, are so underpaid and underappreciated.
Yeah.
And I felt that way my entire 13-year career. And the art lover in me, the writer in me, the literature in me, I was just like, okay, I don't want to be here any longer, but I don't want to leave the community.
So how do you answer that?
Right.
Yeah.
So how can I still be a part of it without fully leaving? Because it's not my intention to leave. I didn't want to leave the kids. I love children. I believe that they just need as many protectors and supporters that they can have, because again, we're in such a gruesome place. And I just tapped back into my old Rolodex, if you want to call it, and was like, hey,
okay,
guys.
now you're going into my era with a Rolodex.
I'm like, hey, I am trying to make this pivot. I love fashion, but I don't want to get back on a runway. I don't want to be in front of a camera in that retrospect. I want to write. I love to write, but I don't want to be some boring news writer and stuck in the office. If I'm going to do news, I want to be in front of the screen or go back and do some journalism and do it in a different way. Because I know how easy it is for a writer to just get stuck in the back closet and be like, hey, yeah, just write a few of these articles and we'll give you whatever we can. This is the salary. So I remember talking to a girlfriend that wrote for New York Times, ran their fashion and accessories column. And I started there for a few months and applied at Who, What, Where, became a contributing writer. And then now I'm an editor in resident there as of last year. But there's still this content creating thing that keeps happening because, again, don't forget, I kept talking online and it kept getting bigger and wider, and the audience is growing and they want me to do all these different types of conversations. The community.
Okay. Like people will request, say, oh, do more about
they're
that.
Like, oh, we want you to come on live. We want you to come on the panel. We want to see you on this TV show, interview. And I was like,
this podcast.
This podcast. Exactly. It was like, okay. I also enjoy having conversation because I think that's a part of building a community. You need to put the phones down and have real conversations, which I very much value. And I remember telling my friend, I was like, hey, I think I'm going to make this like a part-time thing. And I bought a tripod, which I didn't have before. I would just prop my phone up in random spaces. And once I bought the tripod, I was like, there's no turning back. Now you have to be intentional.
Yes, that was an intentional purchase with a tripod.
Yeah. And I just said, I'm never going to add anything sad, negative, degrading, unhappy into anything that I create. So I have to
but you do, be good. I don't want to call it tough love, but you do call it like it is. You're not, it's not just like, ooh, kitties and rainbows. Like, no. We're going to have a little conversation.
I'm that friend.
Yes.
I'm the honest, like my actual friends call me, you're the really rare, blunt, honest friend. Like you're very, very honest and transparent. That's how I love. I love hard. And if I love you hard, you have to create space for me to love you in an honest way. So I was like, if we're going to do this as a community, you have to be ready for the real me. I cannot be fake. If you see me online is what you get in person. I have to just be me. And it became my part-time thing. So now I have one full-time, one part-time that became this beautiful thing. So here we are.
Well, let's talk about your really big full-time thing. And that's becoming a dad.
Yeah.
Your Ducky, my Ducky, our Ducky.
Our Ducky.
If Ducky was ever missing, there would be about 1 million suspects because don't get your feelings hurt on this, but like people love you, but they love your son. I mean,
but that's how I know you love me. It's when you love my son.
Oh
you
my
love
goodness.
me.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
it.
Okay, what is the journey to fatherhood?
Oh my God.
To parenthood. It's another thing we share. I'm an adoptive mother, but I want to hear how you and Ducky come to find each other.
So in 2018, as a queer representing person, I know my possibilities are very endless. They're very limited, but they're endless. And I didn't want to wait for a partner. I'm a single dad.
Okay.
Because why am I waiting? What is the wait? I could be waiting another 20 years. And at that time, your energy is different from what it would be in your 30s or your 20s. So in 2018, I spoke to my best friend who passed last year. I was just like, hey, I think I'm going to foster. It wasn't my intention to adopt.
A toe dip.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I said, I have space. I'm in a 2-bedroom. Again, working in education on the level that I worked on, I worked alongside ACS a lot. So I knew the relationships. I knew what was needed was just somewhere for them to be safe and loved. And I said, you know what? If I can give space, a home to 1, 2 beautiful kids, 3, we can make an L-shaped bunk bed situation, maybe 4. I know. And I spoke to my mom. My mom was like, I'm on board. Let's do it. I just know how you are. I know you have a lot of love to give and you're not going to stop until you give love. So I said, Mommy, I'm going to do it. Let's see if they'll give me a single guy 1 or 2, or if they give me 4, I will be very happy. But
okay, bring it. Bring it.
I applied. The pandemic happened because I applied late of 2018, 2019 pandemic happened. So I thought, okay, that was it. It went out of my head. I was like, oh, didn't happen. Okay, whatever. We'll try again in the near future. We don't know what this new thing is. We thought it was going to be here forever. And I let it go. I went about my business, went to work. So fast forward in 2022, I was in my office. June 1st, I got a call. Ducky was born on May 30th. On June 1st, I got a call from ACS. It was just like,
they had your number. They still had your number. Hey.
And they called on my personal phone. So usually with cases at work, they would call on either the work cell phone that they provided or your office phone. But this number kept calling, and they called several times. And I picked up the phone and I was like, hi, how may I help you? Because is this a spam call? Like, what do you
I don't want life insurance. What do you want?
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, I'm at work. And they were like, hi, this is the administration of child services. And I was like, yeah, but you're calling my personal cell phone and I'm giving this lady such a hard time. I was like, call my work phone. This is what, and she's like, sir, I'm sorry. I don't have your work number. This is not probably for what you're thinking. And I was like, what do you want? Because now I'm thinking you're playing. And she was like, hey, you put in an application in 2018. And I was like, my heart sunk. And I was like, hi, yes. Now my tone shifts. I'm like, yes.
You're not a telemarketer.
You're not a telemarketer.
Hello.
You're really looking for me. How may I help you? Yes, come on in, have some water.
Sit down.
Yeah, sit down. Let me get you some water. And we were talking and she was like, hey, we have a little baby, a little person. We can't tell you the gender.
Okay.
They need a space, ASAP. You have 24 hours to make a decision.
And a decision for foster, not for...
So the decision was initially for foster. That's what I thought.
Okay.
So I said, okay, I will call you back in 24 hours and I just need to speak to my mom and make sure that we have what we need. Did that. My mom was just like, I can't give you the answer. You need to kneel down. You need to pray to your God. Ask for permission. Ask for blessings. When you wake up in the morning, you should have your answer. She said, but I'll let you know one thing. I told you this in 2018. I know your heart. And if you don't make the decision that you need to make, you're never going to sleep comfortably at night.
But no
I
pressure.
just know who you are, but no pressure.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I love you and go make your decision. And I did. So I called them back. Yeah. So I called them back and I called them on June 2nd and they were like, okay, in the next couple of hours, after you clock out of work, you need to meet us at New York Presbyterian Hospital. It has to happen today.
Did you have a thing? Like, did you have a diaper? Did you have a onesie?
No, I had
nothing.
Nothing. It was not childproof, nothing. So I was just like, wait, hold on. She was like, you've already given me verbal consent. You said, yes, this is a serious case. So I went to my boss.
Oh, you still don't know if it's a boy or girl, right? You just know it's a baby, a newborn.
You don't know. Yeah, you don't know it's a newborn. I hadn't known how young he was either at that time.
Oh, so you don't know he's a newborn.
They are not allowed to give you information on the child over the phone because if it's a conflict of interest, because then you can be choosy and be like, oh, it's a girl. Oh, sorry, I don't want it. It's a boy, I don't want it. You know,
like the Uber driver saying, I don't want to drive to the neighborhood.
Exactly. So anyways, had a conversation with my boss and she was just like, you need to go now. You need to go to the hospital, meet them. So I went. When I walked in, obviously we're still in mask. Still, COVID is still lingering a tiny bit. Because it's 2022, it's just starting to go away a little bit. But Ducky was in a NICU. He was born at 2 pounds. Yes, he's literally this small. I know. And then again, I hadn't known any of this. Social worker sat me in a room and then gave me the information. They were like, so this is a little boy. He was born at 2 pounds. Do you have any experience with premature
anything?
Kids? And I did.
Fill in the blank.
You
do? Because of your education
of my job
background.
for 13 years. I did.
Okay.
So I said, yes, I have a lot of experience. I am currently, in this time, I had already been there in that position for 9 years in that specific position. I said, I do have experience. This is what I do. I explained. They were like, it's like God made in heaven. Like, this is a match. Would you like to go and see him? And I was like, yeah. I went to go see him. They put me in this suit. You know, you have to scrubs and you wash your hands. And because he was in like the micro preemie. And I get there and then the nurse is like, do you want to hold him? And I was like, no, yes. Am I supposed to say yes?
I mean, the minute you see this child, the minute you hold him, it is over.
This is it.
It is done.
I put him on my chest and he opened his eyes for the first time. They were like, he hasn't opened his eyes in 2 days. He's 2 days old. I was like, how old is he? I'm now finding out that he's 2. I was like, his birthday was May 30th. She was like, yeah, he's 2 days old. I was like, he hadn't opened his eyes. She was like, no. And then I have a picture in my phone of him smiling. That when he wrapped his hands around my finger, his hands were so small. Like his hand was just like at the tip of my finger. And he would not let go. And then they were like, do you want to feed him? Usually we don't let anyone feed them, but I can show you how to feed them. So they pulled the curtain around just to give him skin to skin. And that's how it began. We started fighting with the court system for them to allow me to do skin to skin because you're not supposed to, since I had a provisional fostering in that moment. And because we still had to go through all of the right steps to actually have all the solidified documents. But because his case was so dire and so sensitive, they needed to make sure that everything was like streamlined. And we fought for me to get
And so the bio parents were not the issue. They were willing to give up, but it was the system.
So it's not that they were willing to give up. So mom abandoned him in the hospital, pulled the leads out. When they weren't paying attention, she ran out the hospital.
And she went,
left.
Okay.
Yeah. So because of that, he had no biological family. So they needed to make sure that he was taken care of ASAP.
Yeah.
And once the judge asked to meet with me, and they were like, well, we don't let the clients meet with the judge so soon. And he was like, I would like to meet with the person that said yes to this child, even after seeing them. I need to meet them now. And it was a very old judge who passed away 3 months after he got my case. 3 months after. But if it was not for him, my case would not even be a thing. And he moved everything from provisional to permanent. He looked at me and he was like, you promised me. And I felt like no one else knew that he was sick, but just thinking back at the conversation and how that went, I was just like, he had to have known that he didn't have that much time, because he looked at me and he was like, you promised me that you take care of this child even in your next lifetime. You promised me. And I was like,
I'm dying over here.
Yeah. And I remember that sticking with me every day. On my adoption ceremony video, I mentioned the judge and spoke exactly what he said. I have it written down in Ducky's discharge summary too, on the bottom part, Judge Stevens. And that was it. I did skin to skin. I went to the hospital 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. Monday through Sunday.
How long was he there?
2 months. For 2 months. Yeah, he came home in July, the end of July. And I will go every day, every single day. I never missed a day. Sometimes I fell asleep in the chair. They would wake me up and be like, hey, it's time for you to go home. And I'm not leaving my kid here.
Yeah.
And then one of the nurses joked at that time, because we still hadn't done the adoption yet. You still have steps. And she's like, you're already calling him your kid. That's so cute. I was just I am. And then we just went through the whole process of the TPR, termination of parental rights, et cetera, et cetera. And that would take another year. So Ducky was... So we moved from fostering within I want to say we moved from... Because then I had what is it called? Like a temporary adoption title. I had this letter that I had to travel around
guardian
with all the time.
or whatever.
Yes, exactly. But we moved from fostering immediately, 3.5, 4 months, and they were just like, we need to have a meeting with you. And I got on the meeting and everyone was on the meeting. I was like, please don't give me any bad news. And they were like, no, we just want to ask you a question on oath. And I was like, okay. And then they asked me, do you think you would want to adopt him? And I was like, yeah.
Why are we even having this conversation?
Everyone was crying. They were like, are you sure? It's I was like, yeah. I was like, I know that I know the idea of fostering, because again, I worked in it. I understand it. I've dealt with this for years. But my heart would have been shattered.
Yeah.
I don't know how you have to be a special person to just build that much love and relationship and then be like, okay, there you go.
Different journey.
Yeah,
not your
different
journey. Yeah, whatever.
And then
someone else, not to
he
judge.
was adopted 2 days before his second birthday. So yeah, and that was it.
Very good. And then Ducky is a nickname.
I was Rubber Ducky, and I just gave him Ducky. That's
Ducky.
my nickname. Yes, I passed my nickname on to him. Yeah.
What a great gift. And then the two of you are just such
Thank you.
a great pair. And you're so, like I said, intentional with him. I feel, and again, this is me filling in, maybe I'm using you to tell my own story, but it feels like you are creating the parenthood that maybe you wish you could have had, that you could dwell in pain, but instead the biggest healing is to get to do it the way you want to do it, the way you think it should be done.
Yes. A part of me, a very big chunky part of me, received my healing when I became a dad. I think for me, my forever intention is to be the father that we both deserve. I think for me, just not growing up with an actual father figure pushed me even more to make a difference. And I think that's why I just never stopped. I could not say no. I could not just watch that beautiful little face from the hospital who's fought so much, so hard at the beginning of his life, to then just, giving that oath and say, oh no, I would like to give him away. Where would he have gone?
Yep.
And I think just that's what my mom meant. I know what kind of love you give. I know your heart, and you won't be able to sleep. I just fast forward now, he's going to be 4. I would have been miserable every day. Like, I wonder what he's doing.
Yeah.
Where is he? What's happening? Oh my God, I hope they're giving him the bath the right way. Like, did they cut his nails? Did they, are they feeding him?
Yeah.
And even now, I think that way. So I feel like everything that I've gone through just prepared me for this moment. Like, I didn't want to be in education. That wasn't my first love. My first love was literature and fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so beautiful to see how my God just kind of pivoted. He put me for 13 years in a position that I had no intention of loving in that moment, but he knew my heart loved kids. I got to work with them. I got to nourish them, support, help. I have to leave that community now because I have my own kid, but now I volunteer there with my kid. So I take him to all the events that's happening. I'm still connected to the school, but I received so much knowledge on how to advocate for him and how to push him through the education system and how to support him with anything that comes up. I know how to have a conversation with him, how to speak to him, how to listen to him, how to listen to my own self. And then in turn, he healed what was missing and what was hurting and what was sad inside of me. So now it's just like every day we wake up, we're just so happy.
Yeah.
We're just so happy.
Beautiful. I'm sitting here in a mess. I'm like wiping most people listen to this podcast, not on video, but just know I'm wiping my tears away. Just because it just struck something in me so deep. You said 2 things. One, I think could be interpreted almost as like an adoption trope, which I don't think you meant, but I just want to call it out. And that, because with my kids, I think people do it too, where they go, oh, they're so lucky to have you. He's so lucky to have you. And it's been my experience, and that is true, but it's just as lucky the other way. It's not like we're some saviors who have swooped in and taken these kids. It's not a one-way street. Whatever you have done or whatever you are going to do for Ducky, it equals or pales in comparison for what he is doing for you.
Exactly.
They are our heroes as much as we are their heroes. Yeah. And I think people who haven't had that experience don't quite get that, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if it wasn't for him, I think I would still be in such a sad, hurtful space in my heart. Yeah. So of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you said, I don't like, where would he have gone? What would he have done? The same thing. Where would you have gone? Like, then you went on to describe what a mess you would be if he was out there in the world without you, if you weren't with him. So it was the journey that you both were on to meet each other.
Together.
What do you think has been the biggest surprise about fatherhood for you? You knew you wanted it, and now you got it.
The biggest surprise?
Mm-hmm.
The biggest surprise is just learning all the things that I thought I knew about myself, just relearning them in a different lens, right? Through a different lens. I thought I knew myself.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. I thought I knew what fun was. I thought I knew what love really felt like. But that was just me from giving love. I didn't know how to receive it. So that was like the biggest surprise, like receiving such honest and innocent love. I was, it's a different thing. So that's the biggest surprise to me.
I guess that would also be the biggest delight.
The biggest joy. It's really a gift. It's really, really a gift. It's a beautiful gift.
And what about the hardest part?
The hardest part is dropping him off to school every day still. It really is.
I don't want to let him go.
Oh my gosh. I'm just like standing at the front because now, he's at that age now. It's no longer daycare. He's in elementary school now in 3K. And just when he turns and waves, I'm just like, oh, do you want to go back home?
Let's just go cuddle.
Let's go cuddle. I think for me, no, but some of the hardest parts, like just kind of like moving from selfish to selfless, just like the sleep something as easy as simple as sleep that we did not appreciate before.
Yeah.
I think that was like my first, like, I want to call it hurdle. That was my first hurdle to jump and kind of like learn this new routine. But honestly, I've had such a beautiful community. We both have, and things just felt normal with small little new ways of learning things, of how to just kind of like both learn each other and be of support to each other. It hasn't been difficult. It just has been very, like learning something new. It's been educational in a way.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. Well, one of the things that's so fun about watching you, this is part of your intention, and then watching him is, as you've said, how much you love fashion. And you don't call them fit checks, but you say, let's talk about what we're wearing. And then you go down what you're wearing, and then Ducky gets to say what he's wearing. And this was actually the part of this get together with you and me that I was the most nervous for, because I'm like, oh gosh, I'm going to ask Darren what he's wearing, and then he's going to ask me what I'm wearing. And I was sweating it out because I live in this place. We live in a very remote place. I am more likely to run into a raccoon, an armadillo, or a dolphin than I am a human being. And at this remote marsh, if your top matches your bottom, if you have more than 3 stains on your t-shirt from Old Navy, you're overdressed. So I'm like going through, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And so I found one sharp white shirt.
Tell us, what are you wearing?
Everyone should have. So I do have, this is from Zara.
Oh,
and
Zara.
I picked it because you dressed Ducky in Zara. I was watching a video where he's like, I've got a red jacket from Zara.
What am I wearing?
So I'm like,
oh,
thank goodness. I didn't have to come on with Darren and say, oh, I'm wearing an Old Navy t-shirt from 2010 that has 4 stains on it. So that's me today. And I am dressed from the waist up. So, I mean, I do have clothes on the waist down, but just for camera.
You're more exactly, yeah.
Exactly.
No,
so what do you got?
What
do you got?
I found, so my assistant was cleaning my closet last week, and she was like, wait, there's a bunch of stuff back here with tags on them on a shelf. I was like, there is? I was like, there is, huh? And she's like, yeah, there's like 9 little fits back here. Do you want me to bring them forward? So she did. And this is one of this little,
so it's
a matching short set. It is new. This is my first day wearing it. I popped the tags just for you, Darren.
Very good, Darren. I love it. So who is it?
From, I hope I'm saying it right. Pangaia? Pangaia? It's a little, linen set. It's a short set, and it's supposed to be like a 3/4 sleeve. Very, very comfy. So. And then I have on like some Muji bed slippers or house shoes.
Oh, wait, slippers? Wait.
House shoes. We have on house shoes.
I got house shoes.
Same color. Well, that's actually
the most important thing. I call them slippers. My husband calls them house shoes. What do you call? What
I call them slippers, but everyone always says they're house shoes. I'm like, they're slippers.
Team slippers, Darren.
Exactly.
Team
Slip them
slippers.
on.
I love it. Okay. Oh, phew. Okay. Now I can just relax because I got through the part I was the most nervous about with your approval. So that's very, very good.
You're comfortable as long as you're comfy.
Very good. So we have a segment here on the podcast that's called Asking for a Friend. And what I usually do is somebody either writes in or calls in, like kind of like, asking for advice. And then I discuss with a friend what they think that person should do. And I could have done that today, but I decided to do it a little differently because actually your account is asking for a friend. You are constantly talking to that friend and giving good advice. So I've pulled a couple of your posts, a couple of your videos.
Oh.
Yes. And so I want to play like one and then talk about it.
Okay.
And then play the other one for our friends because I am introducing it. Okay. So Abe, our fabulous producer engineer, is going to roll one.
Yeah. So I pray that you forgive the version of yourself that settled for anything that violated your boundaries. I pray that you heal from that. Because look in the mirror, babe. Look in the mirror. Look at the baddie you've become. I'm fucking proud of you. Big up yourself. You're bad. You're bad. Yeah.
That one spoke to me, but I want to know the backstory. Like, so where did that come from? And what else do you want to say about that to our friend who's listening?
That video, okay, first and foremost,
Yes.
I get so cringed listening to my own voice, but
Please
it is a
don't.
hurdle that I am jumping. It is
Okay, I'm going to be blunt with you. I'm going to be blunt with you because we only say it like it is, right? So
Yes.
10,000 years in broadcasting, one of your best attributes is your voice. Your voice is so soothing. No, your voice is excellent. It is good.
Thanks. Every time I hear my voice, I'm like, oh, I have to listen to me.
Nope. Nope. It's good. It's really good. Don't change a thing.
A lot of the times I go through my DMs, I get so many messages, but I just go through them just to see. That's really how I create a lot of my content, who I can give some support to that day. And there was this one young lady saying, Darren, thank you so much. I don't remember the whole entire thing, but like, thank you so much. I'm going through this really rough relationship because this person I really love so much, we've been together for well over 15, 16 years. But every day I just feel like they violate my boundaries more and more and more. And I just remember telling her, forgive yourself.
Yeah.
Just give yourself grace. Just forgive yourself for allowing them to violate your boundaries. And once you forgive yourself, then you move forward with being intentional about the boundaries that you set. So I said, and you're beautiful. You're so beautiful. You're a baddie. You look good. I know you smell good just by the way you look, and she was just like, I needed that. I actually got dressed today because she took some hours to respond. I got dressed today. I went outside for a walk with my water, my book, just because of what you said. So I said, I'm going to put this on there because I know there are so many more people that probably need this type of encouragement and support. And that's where that came from. I also went through a really rough breakup before. I'm seeing someone now, but like before this, like it took me years to even step into that space for the same thing, because I just felt like that person was intentionally violating the boundaries. Simple things like, hey, I would love for you to check in more than twice a week. What's going on? We're both adults. We're both working. We have busy lives. But a check-in can simply mean a little message. Hey, thinking about you. What's going on? How was your day? And he would like, okay, cool, get it. Never happening. So I was just like, that felt good to say in a release. And it felt great to see that one person receiving it. So I was like, I think that there's maybe 1,000 more people need to hear this. And it did. So that's
100,000. Exactly. Well, another part, because I'm much farther down the parenting journey than you are, is when your children start making mistakes or having struggles that you thought that you just got to figure it out so they don't have to do it. It makes you go back and look at kind of what you did. And so I can now look at myself in my early adulthood and go like, what were you thinking? Like, why did you stand for that? Like, and that video spoke to me to say, you need to forgive yourself for what happened then. Whatever happened then led you on your journey to figure it out to where you are now. And we just have to give her some grace a little bit. But I can beat her up big time, that younger version of myself.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing to say. Give yourself grace. We needed to go through that in order to get where we are now. If that was just your journey, sometimes you don't get to always write everything. You can only write a few things because you're given permission to, because that's written for you to even start writing. So you just have to understand that, go through the emotions, like I said earlier, but you cannot beat yourself up. Go through the emotions, but you cannot stop. Go through the emotions, but you have to give yourself grace, because then what good are you if you're not a student to yourself? You can be a student to the world, but you need to be a student to yourself first. So give yourself grace to move on to the next thing, because then you'll be stuck on that one thing and unable to move.
I love that. Okay, one more, asking for a friend. I want to play this other clip.
Yeah, so because they don't feel like they're best or they're not at their 100, you shouldn't celebrate being at 100. You shouldn't celebrate being your best. Listen, don't piss me off. Stop suppressing yourself. Stop suppressing yourself to make them feel better. That's not your job. It's not your job. You've done your work. You got yourself here from the space that you were once in. Do they know what it took for you to get here? No, they don't. So then show them. Show them. Stop suppressing yourself to make them feel better. That is not your job. And if they're your friends, if they're your village and they're making you feel like this, it's time for you to reevaluate. Kind of nonsense. You're a baddie. Be a baddie. Time for them to go. They got to get off at the next stop. Staying clear of the closing doors, please. Ding, ding. Edge across.
My son's obsessed with trains.
So that's where that little sound effect comes from. What inspired that one?
Yeah, it's not your job to make anyone happy.
Yeah.
It is not. Your job is to add to their happiness. So why are you taking away from yourself to give to someone else? Stop forgetting about us. I think that's the unhealthy adult thing to do. The ones that think that they're carrying the village. No, that's not how it works. It's called communal work, right?
Yeah. I think a lot of friends who listen to this, that will resonate with them, because I think, especially if it's women, I mean, we are told from the time we're little girls. I grew up with a brother who was 13 months older, and it's like, don't get taller than him, don't get bigger than him, don't like, you need to be less than. Women are constantly given that messaging to be less than in order to be accepted, in order to fit in. And we baddies need to stop that.
Hello. Exactly. That's what I say. And my audience, I'm a feminist first. I always say this. I was raised by women. My grandmother had 11 kids, 8 or 9 of them. 9 of them were girls. And I'm from a very female heavy family of beautiful, successful women. And I think for me, watching them not being recognized, even in their great careers that they have, they're often robbed because it's being given to another guy, a man, a male. So for me, watching my audience be 80% female just feels like, again, you don't need my permission to do anything, because I'm not in charge of you. I'm not your God. But I'm going to support you through it. I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader. I'm going to always push you. I'm always going to hold you up and say, hey, baddie. We're not doing that. They don't get to tell you that you can't walk, that you need to sit. They're not going to tell you that you need to make them happy. It's not your job. Your job is to take care of you. And if you're not taking care of you, you can't take care of them. You can't give support when you can't even give it to yourself. And in the words of RuPaul, how are you going to love someone else if you can't yourself, you know?
And is there a better sage than RuPaul? Exactly. That clip also spoke to me, because I think one of the most surprising things for me, for having done the work, for having looked for love for so long, for like trying to get the family, I always thought, and maybe this will be a subject of a clip that you can do in the future, but I always thought that everybody who loved me, or I thought loved me, would be happy for me to see my dreams come true. And I was shocked to find out that there can be a price with that. That when you do the work to leave the crazy is not very happy about that. People don't want to see you leave. They want to pull you back or make you pay for that. And that had a definite element of heartbreak for me. Do you understand
real.
what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes, that's real. I mean, if someone's not happy with themselves, they don't have space to be happy for you, right? Because you're supposed to fill their happiness. So once they see that you took reign on your own happiness, your own life, your peace, your comfort, you made you the priority, that kind of like ruffles their feathers in such a way that now they feel like they need to pull you back down. Because where do you think you're going? You know? And again, I've been through that. So like a lot of the things that I talk about that I'm already healed from, but I just feel like there are so many people that can kind of like can use some of my experience, you know, to start their own healing.
A couple questions I like to ask every friend who comes on. First of all, who is the friend who had an impact on your life, or the friend that the world needs to know about?
Oh God, this is so tough. This is one of the questions or responses that I sometimes choke up on. My best friend passed last year on my birthday of 20 years. And it really sucks because, oh man. Yeah. social media was his thing.
Mm-hmm.
He was really, really big in the fashion world. Had hundreds of thousands of followers. And before I got online, he would always say, get online. People want to hear your voice because I'm tired of hearing your damn mouth. That's what he would say. He said, you're always right. And when I started going viral online, he was so happy. And I had no successes.
Told ya.
Yeah, exactly. I had no successes from it as of yet. And right when I started like monetizing and having a reach and just being invited into spaces to use my voice, my tool, like he would call it. He'd be like, girl, that's your tool and you need to use it because God will take it away from you if you don't appreciate it. And when I got on, my first biggest thing was taking over the radio station, which was a dream of mine, just a silly dream. I was like, oh, one day I want to be like...
No silly dreams, Darren.
I wanted to be like Howie on the radio station. And Hot 97 did a segment on me on Father's Day. And he was so happy. And I just feel like he would be... He's still happy because I feel him everywhere I go. But I just feel in physical form... I just wish he was sitting on the other side of this laptop right now, just watching me, because he would be that creepy freaking brother that would sit on the other side and just be like this the whole time.
Maybe I'm him in creepy lady form.
Yeah, so that is the friend that I wish the new members to the community can experience in physical form. Obviously, they know him because I post him all the time. But that's the one friend that I wish everyone can kind of know forever, because we were like white on rice. We're inseparable and still are. Yeah.
And still are. And then after all this very deep soul bearing conversation, I love to tie things up superficial, totally superficial. What is the thing that you are recommending to a friend? It could be, a beauty product, a social media account, a restaurant, a food, a parenting hack. Anything. So what's the thing?
Can I do two things or
you can?
Or two things. Good. Laser facials. That is the one thing that I got for the first time this year. Like on my birthday this year, I got a laser facial for the first time ever. I have not seen a glowy skin before that. I mean, I had no idea. First and foremost, it is an investment in yourself, and you should always be investing in yourself. So do not.
So it's not cheap.
It is not cheap. It's not affordable. And if it's affordable, you shouldn't do it because it's probably not being done right.
Don't try this at home.
All of
with
the
your credit
spaces
card.
that I looked to, to book this facial were all in the same price range. So if it's affordable, stay away from it. But a laser facial, it is 15 minutes. But they just zap everything. Back, and it's not painful at all. It sounds
that's
painful, but it's, oh my goodness, it just gets everything. So if you have like a blemish or a breakout, once they zap it, it's gone like in an hour or two. It's like gone. Skin is beautiful, glowing, etc. The other hack that I want to give to new parents, this is just a little piece of advice. Do with it as you wish. You don't have to follow it. Don't buy your kids toys. They will never play with them in the beginning. They will never play with them. They want the weirdest little the box and the bottles.
Yeah, the box. Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. Don't buy them toys until they can decide a little bit older, maybe for the first 9 to 10 months.
Okay.
Maybe a few little things. My son played with the plastic bottles that I was recycling. Would take them to his room and play with them. I'm like, what are you doing? Don't buy them a bunch of toys, because then they become your problem in a second. You got to clean them all up. Those are my two pieces of advice.
Fabulous pieces of advice. I'm feeling very validated now that I just trusted my creepy stalker lady desires and reached out and met my fellow Darren. And I have loved this time. I will say, I know you have a huge community, but if you ever need a break, you just send Ducky down to Aunt Daryn and Uncle Trent. You're invited too to come see us on this beautiful Georgia coast. But parents are optional. We like the children. So,
That's what everyone says. My sister takes him for 3 weeks in the summer.
Send Ducky. Yeah.
I'm like, my sister loves to take him just randomly for weeks upon weeks when he has vacation. I'm like, can I drop him off?
Where's my child?
She's like, no, I'll pick him up. And I'm like, hey, can I come? And she's like, no, you can pick him up the day before. Like, okay.
Exactly. I was an aunt before I was a mother, and there's something special about getting to see the kids without the parents. Well, you would know that too, as I'm sure you were an uncle. So good. Thank you so much for this time and for you. And I promised my friends at the beginning of this that they were going to fall in love with you. And your account is The Real Darren Graham, Darren, boy Darren.
Yes.
And we'll have links to everything in show notes and up on the screen and everything. So even more people can find you. And I'm also looking forward to sharing this with your community, just because I know there's so many people who will love the backstory of Ducky, who might not have heard that. We'll share that in clips as well. So
please. Thank you so much for creating space. Thank you for creating space to have me. This was so beautiful, so welcoming and warm. And
I hope it's
nice to meet my fellow
first time
Darren.
Together. Yes.
Yes.
I hope it's our first Darren time, not our last. Thank you, Darren.
Not our last. You're welcome.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
All right.
So did I do it? Did I make my case? Do you love that Darren as much as I do? And by the way, he's The Real Darren Graham on Instagram. I'm sure he's on TikTok too, but like I said, an old person, and I don't really know the TikTok. I'm all about Instagram. Oh, there were so many great nuggets of what he said, but the main thing that I take from him, and so many of his clips that speak to me as I watch his account, is if you are not good to you, if you are not loving you, if you're not pouring into you, how can you pour into anybody else? It can't just be about pouring into other people. The old put your mask on first before you give anybody else oxygen. And maybe I'm not even doing Darren Graham justice, but if I just made the case for you to go on Instagram and look up The Real Darren Graham, then I've made my case. Then I feel like I've done my work for today. I really hope you enjoyed him as much as I did. And really, you want to check him out because you've got to see this little boy. Ducky is everything. So adorable with little glasses and, just a dream. So Darren, if you're still watching, thank you so much for coming on with me. My other friend, if you're listening, thank you for spending this time with me. I so appreciate you. I know I've been mentioning every episode about this YouTube thing, but can I tell you, we are so close. By so close, we're like 6 people away from getting over what YouTube says I need to have for subscribers to monetize. So if you'll just watch this podcast on YouTube, and when the little red box comes up in the corner and says subscribe, if you'll just click on that, we're so close. We got to get there. I'll tell you more in the next episodes about the challenges I'm facing and what it's going to take to make this podcast go forward. But for now, if you would just do that one little thing, friend, I would so appreciate you. Also, would just love to hear from you. You know, there's a lot of ways you can comment underneath wherever you're listening to this podcast. You can find me at Daryn Kagan or Call Me Friend Podcast on all of the socials. Let me know what you're thinking, who you want to see come on. Also, if you would like to submit a question for Asking for a Friend, I would love to hear what you would like me to put forward to my guest. You can do it any of those places, and as I've reminded you every time, I have a phone number. You can call or text me anytime. 912-766-0446. Call or text. I don't hear it ring. So if you're listening at 3 a.m. and you and I need to talk, just let her rip. Just know I appreciate you. I love this time together. Thank you for letting me do this and do this with you. And I look forward to the next time we chat soon. Thanks, friend. You've been listening to Call Me Friend. Executive producers for the show are Daryn Kagan and me, Daryn Kagan. The show is produced by Produce Your Podcast and Journeyist Inc. Production by Abe Falek, Tammy Gagno, and Rob Paw.
Before you go, Call Me Friend is more than a podcast, it's a community. So head over to callmefriendpodcast.com to join the conversation. Or you can call or send a text to 912-766-0446, and you can leave Darren a message there, or maybe even share a story of your own. Because when life gets real, you don't have to go it alone. Call a friend. Call this friend.